Data is to functions like food is to people. Basically, if I've identified a function, I've identified something the application has to do, or, as I've said, something that people who are going to be using the application have to do with it, I've identified a functional requirement expressed in the active verb direct object format. Well, the direct object, whatever is being created, calculate projected net income, for an example, is data. This is what we call informational requirements. And technically speaking, a functional requirement consists of what the application has to do or know. Know is being the data side of it. Both dimensions, doing and knowing, together form a complete and accurate picture of what is really the application all about. It's not enough to have just the function. I also need to think about the data. Now there's the obvious data, which is stated in the function explicitly as the direct object, the PNI, or the projected net income. But there's a lot of hidden data quite often in them, things that are going to be based upon my experience. Do I know exactly what data is going to go in? Unless I'm talking to the subject matter expert, I don't really know how you calculate a projected net income. If they tell me, well, you need to know the projected gross income, and then you subtract the projected expenditures, I'm identifying new data, data that is the application is going to have in order for it to work. Data going out is the information that the application is producing, the projected net income, and there may be other peripheral data that is created. So I have to think about all the data going in, all the data going out, and then I have to start to ask the question, inside the function, is there any data that the function requires internally that is not necessarily visible? In order to calculate the sales tax, I recognize there is a sales tax amount, which is going to vary by locale, where the calculation is being done for, like shipping the customer's address, things like that. So there is hidden data that I have to take into consideration. For every piece of data that I can identify associated with, for instance, the sales tax, your income total, your sales tax rate, coming up with your sales tax amount, and the formula, invoice total times sales tax rate is tax amount, this one has all of the data that I possibly need to complete the application. Unless I say, you know, that sales tax rate, to get to that, I need to have your zip code. I need to know where you are located, because your tax rate will be different depending upon what municipality, what county, what state, and so forth that you live in. There's hidden data, there's data going out, and data coming in to every function. And by the time I get down to this level of detail, this is the stuff that I am going to be able to test. The only way that I can execute a test in the world of IT is by looking at the data. I can't see a function being performed. I can't see the function. The only way I get it becomes visible is through data. All of my given, when, then is in some way, shape, or form represented in data. If I think about a function and I want to think about testing, I need to take into account all of the pieces of data that I would need to set up, all of the data that I'm going to be creating, which is going to be my then, and what data that I need to enter into the application in order to get there. Good example here, system should calculate the premium for discount for safe drivers. There is a function hidden in there which is calculate premium discount, actually not all that hidden, it's very specifically stated. And that particular function needs to have the premium, the discount percentage that is applied for a safe driver, and the discount amount. Those are pieces of data that I'm going to need. If I recognize that the premium is something that is also calculated, there's another function that would have to be happening before I can calculate the premium discount, and that is calculating the premium. Well, now I can take a look at all of the variables or all of the data that I need in order to calculate a premium, like an applicant date of birth, the vehicle value, and things like that. And there's something else in that original statement over there that says about safe driver. I'm going to have another function, which is to evaluate your driving record to see, do you qualify as a safe driver? And to do that, I might need data such as your driver's license number, the issuing state, and I'm going to get an incident log or a report of all of the incidents that you have been involved with, accidents, things like that, so that I can establish whether or not you are a safe driver. So you can see that out of that simple statement, the system should calculate the premium discount for safe drivers. I have three functions, and I have a thundering herd of data.